All right, let me try this. I think this might be better. There's a lot of wires. Oops, come on. Okay, how's this? It doesn't seem like it's picking up as well as it was yesterday, or not yesterday, the last time I recorded. Maybe I'm speaking lower? I don't know. Let's try right here. How is this? I don't know. Anyways, let's get started. Lessons learned, I basically wanted to go over. It's the end of the quarter here. And so like I went over, and actually it's kind of funny because I'm using, even though I start my new year at the Chinese New Year, I still use the Western quarterly dates. So I break down my goals into quarters. If you guys saw the Chinese New Year podcast, you know what I'm talking about, but I break them down into quarters and then track different activities in each quarter that I want to get done that will lead to the goals that I want to accomplish for the year. And so I base the quarters off of the Western calendar. So this is the end of the quarter, or the quarter has already ended now. And I did okay. I got about 88%, not about, exactly 88% complete on my goals for Q1. And one of the goals, I missed two altogether. I missed two tasks, I should say. And one of those tasks I will actually finish the end of next week. So not too far off. That'll put me in the 90s there, but I actually just cut it off. I cut it off right at the end of the quarter, so it's not going to bring that number up, of course. I'll just, if I accomplish everything in the second quarter that I want to accomplish, plus what I wanted to accomplish in the first quarter, the ones that I didn't, then it'll be like over 100% complete. So that's how I'm doing. And I got about 3/4. So one of my goals was actually to lose 32 pounds of fat. At the beginning of the year, well, mid-January, I weighed myself and I was 204, which I've never been above 190, 195 before. So that was kind of a shocker to me. And tells you a little bit about how hard I went through the holidays, but now I'm down to 184. So I lost 20 pounds. My goal was 32, so I gave myself a 3/4 credit for that. But that was kind of like a loose goal though, because my real goal, I don't really care about my weight. I would actually like to be closer to 200, but I want it to be mainly muscle. So that's going to be the path forward for me in this, starting this quarter. I'm starting to work on building some muscle. So we'll see. I'm going through a therapeutic month this first month, and then I'll start hitting the weights harder. But I want to make sure that all my joints are in proper order and strength and flexibility and that sort of thing, so that I can decrease the possibility of injury and therefore decrease the risk of missing a goal or two. So that's what I'm doing. Anyways, I was experimenting there. So hopefully this this quarter will be fruitful as well. My goal is actually to get in the 90s or average the 90s, because I feel like if you're in the 90s by the end of the year, you've pretty much accomplished everything that you've wanted to accomplish, or you're so close that it doesn't really matter. So that's what I'm thinking. One of the lessons learned from this past quarter, I was doing the fasting 24-hour fasts every week for Lent, and I'm going to continue with that trend throughout the rest of the year at least, and probably do some long fasts, maybe some 48 hours or 72 hours possibly. 2-hour fast, but 72-hour fast. Of course, I'm gonna do the water fast. I'm not brave enough to do the total fast, like no liquids, no food, no nothing. But I'm pretty comfortable doing water fasts. So one of the lessons learned while fasting is that fasts are 3 times easier if you get enough sleep the day before or the day that you're doing it. The last fast I did was I didn't get much sleep. I got maybe 3 hours of sleep, and it was just tough. Like, it was really, really tough. I made it, but it was really, really tough. And one of the things, so part of the Lent was fasting, part of the weekly fasting, 24-hour fasting, and part of it, the main part of it though, was the start of no processed sugar. Now, I did cheat a little bit, I guess you could say. I did have, so for breakfast, pretty much throughout the entire Lent, I had, and it's Good Friday, by the way, actually just turned to the Saturday after Good Friday, but where was I at? So the deviations I had from the no processed sugar were really just 2 items. One was cinnamon raisin bread, because in the morning, pretty much every breakfast I had this whole Lent season was coffee with monk fruit in it and a dash of whole milk and toast, and a cinnamon raisin bread toast, which I get from Costco, which ends up having a couple grams of sugar. So a couple of grams of sugar I'm not too worried about, really. Those were that, and along with these organic, I think it's called Kettle barbecue chips. Yeah, those I definitely cheated on. I mean, those also only have, like, I think it's less than a gram per serving, so I don't really think that it's cheating necessarily because it's so small. But I guess if you were being super strict, you could call that cheating. But I'm happy. The results were really good enough for me. I mean, I told you guys before, the testosterone increased quite a bit, and my weight dropped significantly. And I feel better. I mean, I feel better, more alert. It's just all around. I think it's been a good experiment, and I'm gonna and really the purpose for me for doing these Lenten sacrifices is to make something permanent. Is to make permanent changes in my life, and so part of that permanent change is going to be fasting regularly, and part of it is going to be vastly decreasing the amount of sugar that I was eating, because obviously it was out of control. And so this quarter I'm going to not do any processed sugar at all during the week, but on Sundays I'm going to do the cheat days, like The Rock does. I don't know if you guys follow The Rock on Instagram or anywhere else, but that's what he's kind of famous for, his cheat days. And so I'm going to follow in his footsteps, so to speak. I do have a beef to pick with him, though, because on one of his, he released this new supposedly clean energy drink, but he first released the version with sugar, and it has like 100 grams of sugar in it or something ridiculous like that. And he actually said on his Instagram video, he was like, you should have sugar every day, or there's nothing wrong with eating sugar every day, which is just, I mean, I get that someone like him who works out as hard as he does can eat the sugar every day, but do you need sugar every day? No. Should you have sugar every day? No. I was really kind of disappointed when I heard him say that, and I seriously doubt that he eats sugar regularly every day. Maybe he does. I don't know. But anyways, not that he would care about my opinion or not. But anyway, so that's it for the lessons learned. That's my update for you. All in all, I'm not disappointed with my results, so we'll see where it goes from here. Alright, so I want to read to you guys one of the posts I have on the Kung Fu Louisville website. I titled it Conflicts. Every conflict in your life is your conflict. Meaning that you own it, that you created it. That conflict is only there because of you, and it is for your benefit. This is a summary of a quote I recently heard, which I think is very useful. And the quote goes, "Every conflict, difficult situation, or problem in your life are not chance or haphazard. They are specifically yours, designed specifically for you by a part of yourself that loves you more than anything else. It has created roadblocks to lead you to yourself. You will not go in the right direction unless there is something pricking you in the side, telling you, look here, look this way. That part of you loves you so much that it does not want you to lose the chance. It will go to extreme measures to wake you up. It will make you suffer greatly if you don't listen." And that was by A.H. Almaas. And I actually heard that quote through another person called Dr. Gabor Mate, who has a great book called Scattered, which I really like and recommend. But he had mentioned that in an interview that he did I was listening to. And when I heard it, I was just like, whoa. It just blew my mind. But what I got from it is that whatever experience you are having is the experience that you need to have. You have to figure out what it means in your life and why it is there. If everyone looked at their problems in this light, I think they would solve a lot of them, if not all of them. If you take this to heart, then your life and the life of those involved in your problems will be vastly better than before. This is true of physical illness, mental illness, and any other type of problems you will encounter in your life. The root of realizing and understanding this fact is declaring ownership of everything. Here's another quote. It is with our minds that we create the world. And that was by the Buddha. The continuation of that quote is that the world does create our minds. Something to think about. I believe that quote is generally attributed to the Buddha, but could be by someone else, who knows. It may not be exactly what he said, but still, it is worth considering. And it could be taken in a literal sense. Just look at the technology we have and are developing that are literally shaping the world. I mean, another example is, have you ever seen a stone quarry from an airplane? I mean, it looks terrible. I mean, it looks like it just kind of hurts your soul a little bit. And I'm not a huge environmentalist or anything, but I do appreciate the environment and think that we should take care of it. But if you see those stone quarries, it just looks so unnatural and so bad for the earth. Looks like a gash on the earth. But that is literally reshaping the earth. But also, I mean, with buildings, roads, etc., we are shaping the world around us with all those things. In urban areas, this is like 100% true. I mean, it is completely shaped by us. Everything around you, if you're living in an urban area, everything around you was made by us, was made by mankind. But it can also be taken in a less than literal sense. Meaning, the way we perceive the world also creates or shapes the world around us. Have you ever been talking to someone and midway or even after the conversation is over, you realize that both parties were talking about something completely different? Or have you ever agreed with someone on a task or something to do, and then they do the exact opposite of what you were expecting, or just something totally different? I have, and that is us literally shaping the world with our perceptions. Or have you ever thought that a certain person had an opinion about you, but once you spoke with that person directly, you found out that you were completely wrong? I've done that several times, and I'm pretty sure most everybody has. It's the same thing when someone who lacks confidence will convince themselves that they cannot do something, and then they never do it. When if they just tried it, they would find out that they were more than capable of doing it. Or the opposite, or someone with confidence who thinks that they can do anything, and then go for it, and they do it. Both are ways in which we shape or create the world around us. And there is more to it than just the tangible items that can be listed, like what I was talking about. But it's something to consider. Both very good quotes and very good ways of thinking about the world and how we live in it, and our problems and conflicts, which everybody has. So the next conflict you come across in your life, and you know there's gonna be one, there's always one. You're probably in a conflict right now, even if it's with yourself. you're probably there in a conflict, trying to figure out what to do. Well, just try it out. Try to hypothesize how that conflict could have been brought to you by yourself so that you can figure out something that is missing from your life, or figure out something that you need to learn or that you need to know to improve your life and to make yourself better and to make the world better. Just try it. See what happens. Anyways, thanks for listening, and I didn't look up any news for the Muay Tongue Clan, but there is the 35th anniversary Richmond seminar still coming up in May, the 7th through the 9th. Yeah, and you know what? Let's just leave it at that. Again, thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.